you?
Good, good. So we have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah. So another game, another loss.
Yeah.
Bad loss. This was a team that we were supposed to beat. Um, everything that could go wrong did go wrong last week. Broncos won. Raiders, I believe they won, and then the Chiefs lost, but that doesn't matter anymore because now we're 3 out of the division. So now we're basically fighting for the 6th seed, 7th seed. Um, Whatever the case is, it's going to be on the road. Um, I'll start with the negatives first, I guess. Brandon Staley, again, I don't know. I've lost the words to explain how bad this guy is, honestly. I don't think he's going to be fired this season, but absolutely he will be in the offseason. Um, the way he snapped at the reporters, just unacceptable. They're asking you basic questions that you should have the answer for. The funny thing about this was Quentin Johnston, when he didn't catch that ball at the end, Staley goes, he was catching those in the training camp. Okay, that was in August. And that has nothing, like, the atmosphere is completely different. There's no pressure. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and blame Quentin Johnston for dropping that pass. He should have caught it, yes. But he's never been put in that situation before. And that's what I was afraid of this whole season is you're not involving him much, and then all of a sudden you're going to have to, and he's not going to be able to deliver because he's not used to it. So, yes, he should have caught it. Yes, he's an NFL player. Give it time. That's what I'll say about Quentin Johnston. Give it time. He's going to adapt. Um, Other than that, Keenan Allen, great game. Justin Herbert, great game. Austin Eckler, costly fumble in the red zone. I don't know what's happening with Eckler. The drop passes that he's had last week, or the week before, and then the fumble last week. Costly mistakes. Um, I don't know if it's because he just wants to be out of there, if he just not doesn't want to play under Brandon Staley anymore, or if that injury is still lingering. I don't know, but it's cost us a couple of games. And he's just not the same. Even running the ball, he's not getting many yards, so he's just not the same. Jalen Guyton didn't play, so we were down Guyton, Everett. We were down a lot of guys. But bottom line is that the defense played okay. They weren't as bad as last week, but at the same time, they gave up a lot of big yards. Jaden Reed got a couple of big yards. Romeo Dobbs got a touchdown, I believe. So they gave up big yards. Overall, though, it was just a bad game. And I feel bad for Herbert and Keenan Allen, to be honest with you. I don't want them to waste their careers like Philip Rivers did on this team. It's sad to say, but I just don't. And one more note about Herbert, he was really pissed off. And I've never seen him like this before. It was on the offensive line. I've never seen him like this before, but I'm glad he did it because we need to see this fire from Herbert. The positive, if there is any, is that we're still alive. Somehow, some way, we're alive. Now, the way we get into the playoffs is we can only lose one more game for the rest of the season, whether that's Sunday, whether that's week 16 or week 18. But the way I look at it is, hopefully we win Sunday, right? No Mark Andrews. Hopefully we win. Contains Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, those guys. And hopefully we win. And then we get an easy schedule. You get the Patriots, the Broncos twice, who have been playing better, but I don't think they can beat the Chargers if Chargers play to their level. And then we get the Raiders, and then we get the Bills, and then the Chiefs. But the Chiefs might have clinched by then, so they might rest their starters. That's why I'm saying if we just win out and we could afford one loss, Bills or Ravens, you got to take care of business against the rest of them. And the Bills haven't looked great, but you got to take care of business against those easy teams. Sunday, you got to win. If you don't, you make it a lot harder on yourself. But that's just the way I'm going to recap this.
Yeah, there's still a chance, but it does seem like a monumental task after
Yeah.
a loss to a bad team like the Packers. And
Yeah.
we got them in third and long in a lot of situations and just gave up easy first downs. Guys were wide open. Just unacceptable defensive breakdowns time and time again. Um, and you know, I felt trouble connecting to the internet. Check your Wi-Fi network connection by going to settings. Sorry about that. But yeah, it didn't feel good to see Bosa being carted off the field and sobbing. He, he could tell it was a serious injury, and
Yeah.
who knows, that may have been the last time we saw Bosa in a Chargers uniform.
Yeah.
Very well likely could have been. Uh, like you said, Keenan and Herbert were amazing. Keenan did have a couple drops, a couple costly
Right. Right.
drops that
And that's unlikely. And I think that red zone drop, the sun was right in
it
his
was
eye, I
right
think,
at his
and
eye.
that's why he just didn't see it. Otherwise, it's not Keenan Allen like, to drop that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah,
about that.
yeah. Parham had a big fourth down drop.
Yeah.
Stone
That
Smart.
that was bad. That Parham drop. That was bad. Perfectly placed. That was bad.
Yeah, Smart. I think Smart had a drop too, but he did have a long touchdown. That
Yeah.
was surprising, the first of his career.
Right.
So yeah, just tough. I feel for a guy like Quentin Johnston because he
Yeah.
should have caught that pass, but you're right. He hasn't had the targets, the reps, you know he shouldn't be in that position right now. And fans, I see a lot of fans saying he's a bust already. His career's over. It's not. It's too early, way too early to say that about him. Uh, you just got to laugh about that right now. I think he'll bounce back. He'll use this as motivation and get better.
Yeah.
Um, and it was good to see the fire out of Herbert. You can tell he really cares, and
Hmm.
he's just playing amazing. That laser he threw to Keenan Allen for the touchdown in between two defenders.
Yeah.
That who else can do that? Uh,
Yeah.
so Herbert always gives us a chance, but with Staley's defense, that always gives us a chance to lose too. So you got to get rid of Staley, but none of us
Yeah.
expect it to happen until after the season.
Especially now, it's too late.
It's
Doesn't
too
make
late.
sense now.
It's too late. So you know, are you looking at someone like Belichick? Which sounds crazy for Charger fans to say after all the hate of the Patriots for all these years. Uh, but you got to think that would be an upgrade over Staley.
Look, at this point, anything is an upgrade. Like I'd rather have Anthony Lynn back than Staley. Um, at least he kept that team disciplined.
He did until the end because there were a lot of stupid clock management issues
Yeah,
at the very
yeah,
end. At the
yeah.
end, yeah. Um,
I mean, like they wanted to win. Like they didn't want to just stop playing and didn't care. Like Eckler kind of is now. That's what I mean by kept them disciplined. They just wanted to win, even if they didn't have a chance, let's say, or whatever the case might have been. They were fighting. And under Staley, I don't see that.
yeah, I don't know if it's Eckler doesn't want to win or I mean he slipped on the grass.
Yeah.
That
No, I don't know. I don't know what it is, to be honest, because we've never seen him drop passes. And one here and one there is okay. It's just he's been making those mistakes constantly lately. I don't know if it's the injury or if it's just I don't know. That's why I'm not sure what it is, to be honest. But it's just his comments about Staley in the past too makes me wonder. Okay, maybe this guy, and he has a point. He has a point.
he
But maybe he
does.
just doesn't want to play under this guy anymore.
And you got to think, has Staley completely lost the locker room after the comments he made in that last press conference, throwing his players under the bus, saying, the coaches are all doing a great job. It's the players not executing, which you just got to laugh at, right now. And
Yeah,
it, and if you're a player, you know what what are you thinking? Are you saying forget this guy? Like, I'm not going to get injured for this guy right
exactly,
now.
exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see on Sunday what the result of that is, and how these guys come out. Are they going to come out trying to save his job? Are we going to be fired up and try to get that win against the Ravens, or are we just going to lay down and say it's already over?
I think if they lose Sunday, it is over. I know I said we can afford to lose one, but if we lose Sunday, we're not winning the next 5 or 6 games in a row. That's just not going to happen. So if we lose Sunday, it's over. But I mean, I don't think no matter how far we make it, Staley's going to stay next year. I think he's gone regardless.
Yeah,
Just cost us way too many games this year. I don't know. It's just, in my opinion, it's just childish play calls. Um, you know, how many times have we seen tight ends beat us? Whether it's Luke Musgrave last week or Travis Kelsey the prior week or Sam Laporta. Um, I don't know. The receivers, wide receivers, Jaden Reed, he's a wide receiver 3. He smoked us. It's a reoccurring thing every single week. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, they're just having field days against us.
yeah.
Um,
Career
and Jordan
days,
Love, I'm sorry,
like career days for like Jordan
Jordan
Love.
Love.
It's like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. His line was set at 227 and a half passing yards. And like, this is way too low. And then Jaden Reed was at 33 and a half, and the odds were in the favor of him going under. Like, yeah, the sportsbooks don't know the Chargers apparently. I went with the over on both, and both easily hit. And it's like whoever plays Pick'em, whoever plays the Chargers, pick the over because it's gonna happen. Whether it's Zay Flowers, Odell, whoever, go over because it's gonna happen. Unfortunately, um, that's just where we're at right now with the defense.
yeah, yeah. It'll hurt the Ravens not to have Mark Andrews. He's a big piece of
Yeah,
their offense. But will
but
Isaiah likely just step right in and smoke us too?
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And I'm sure his number will be a bit lower for this week because we don't know what he's going to do. But I take the over. I mean, anyone against the Chargers, I take the over, and it's a good bet regardless of whether it happens or not. It's a kind of low risk, high reward type thing. Um, but no, I mean, it's just very frustrating watching this team. Um, Again, I feel so bad for Herbert and Keenan Allen because Keenan's been here for his whole career and Herbert just signed that supermax extension. Um, I don't want them to go out like Philip Rivers did without a championship. Um, either you add talent or you trade these guys. Uh, I don't want to trade either of them. I want both of them to be Chargers for life. But at the same time, I want them to win. I of course prefer them to win as a with the LA Chargers, but we don't see any movement happening in the office that we're gonna sign this guy, we're gonna trade this guy away because X, Y, and Z. It's not happening. Just standing with the same game plan, the same roster, and nothing's changing. So I don't know. Bosa being out is gonna hurt them, obviously. Um, the only plus is Thule will get more playtime, I guess. Um, I don't know. I don't know. This defensive line needs to step up against the Ravens. The way you beat the Ravens is you got to slow down Lamar Jackson. You know, um, he's going to want to run it. He's going to pass it to Zay Flowers. He does a lot of screen passes to Zay Flowers, and he's been going to Odell at times too. So that whole offense is going to be a problem. The running backs are solid, but the defense is even scarier for the Ravens. They did lose to the Browns 2 weeks ago, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah. So there is an opportunity for the Chargers to win, but we say that every week, and it doesn't happen. So I think the bottom line is just you. If you don't win Sunday, you're done. If you win Sunday, let's see what happens with the Steelers and the Texans and the Bills and the Bengals. Now Burrow's out. Bills are struggling. Steelers, we said they're not going to make it. And the Browns, they're surprising people, but how many games are they going to be able to sustain this? So there's an opportunity, yes, but you got to win Sunday to even be in that picture. If you don't, because the Broncos won, Raiders won, so those two teams are ahead of us too now. We're basically the last in the AFC West, so we got to win Sunday.
which is crazy to think about when you look at the rosters of these teams. Like,
Yeah,
the Chargers, have a championship roster with, all the pieces they have together. They just can't put it together.
no, it's really frustrating. And I'll go back to what I said last week. The difference is coaching.
Yeah,
The Raiders fired Mike McDaniel, and they have Antonio Pierce now leading these guys to wins.
yeah.
And it could be as simple as feeding Devontae Adams. You know, did they beat the Dolphins?
No, it was a close game, but
Oh, they lost that game.
they lost that game.
Okay, because I wasn't following it. That's why I was like, wait, did they win or not? Okay, so if they lost, we're still last. Doesn't matter. But I mean, still, the Raiders are playing better than they were before. And to be able to compete with the Dolphins in Miami, it shows that the coaching makes a difference.
Yeah,
As for the Broncos, Sean Payton, he's done a fine job, I think, with the Broncos. He had criticism in the beginning of the season, adjusted, and now look, they're winning. So the Vikings, same with them. They lost Sunday night, but they're 6-5 without Jefferson, without Kirk Cousins. Joshua Dobbs is doing a great job, but the coaching matters. Um, it can't be. I mean, I don't know. You can't overstate how much coaching matters.
yeah. It's just hard to watch this defense because
Yeah.
anytime you need a stop, it's just like they're allowing big play after big play.
Yeah.
And to a team like the Packers, who have struggled consistently on offense to get anything going. Their stud running back Aaron Jones got injured during
Hmm.
the game. Their
Yeah.
third string running back got injured too. They were down to AJ Dillon, and Staley comes out and said, "Hey, we stopped the run." Good, good job there, man. Good job. Uh, it's like, yeah, uh,
That's such a stupid comment.
yeah,
That's such a. It's like saying you stopped Isaiah Spiller.
yeah,
That's what he's saying.
yeah.
But
And
Jordan Love, yeah, go ahead.
maybe maybe Staley is part of the problem with Spiller. Who knows?
Could be,
Could
could
be.
be. Jordan Love loves going deep. I said this last week too, and he did. I mean, if we know it, the coaching staff should know it too, right? We assume that they do. I don't understand. I mean, there was a 3rd-and-1 call. Was it 3rd-and-1 or 4th-and-1? It was a 1 yard gain that the Packers needed, and they showed a picture of, I think it was Jossier Taylor lined up maybe about 4 feet away from Jaden Reed. And then on the other side, I believe it was Asante Samuel Jr. lined up like 3 feet away from Romeo Dobbs. They needed 1 yard. Why aren't we playing man coverage here? It's mind boggling. And even if they didn't convert there, they would have gone for it on 4th down and converted. That's what's so frustrating about this team. Like, yes, you get a stop on 3rd, then you get beaten on 4th, which is even worse. So it's like teams aren't afraid now to go on 4th downs against us because they know they'll convert. We had 1 4th down stop, and the Chargers offense couldn't get it going, but you need more than just one stop. Um, you had a lot of opportunities to win against the Packers, a lot of opportunities, and they blew it. But you you got to win Sunday. If you don't, this season's over. And at that point, if you lose Sunday, it's just a matter of, do you tank and get a better draft pick?
Yeah, try to get like you said, Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think that's gone now. That was like week 5, I think I said it, or week 7 after the Chiefs loss. Now that's gone because we already have 4 wins. He's
Mhm.
going to go like second, probably. So, and there are a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft class. So you never know. They might pass up on Marvin Harrison Jr., and we might get him. But there are a lot of good quarterbacks. I really like Michael Penix Jr. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to obviously draft a quarterback, but there could be teams that pass up on Marvin Harrison Jr. because of the QBs available. So you never know. But I think a running back also is important for this team. If you resign Mike Williams, or not resign, but pick up his contract for next season, um, you should draft an RB. Um, and that RB, I think, is Audric Estime, but that might you don't have to draft him in the first round. Possibly, you can wait a little. But yeah, you need an RB. You need an O line. I think whether it's a right tackle, right guard, anybody right now besides Trey
Center
Pickett.
too, center too, because who knows what's going on with Lindsley?
Yeah, center too. I mean, Will Clapp, he's done a decent job. I don't know how much longer he can produce like this, but yes, a center too, absolutely. I think honestly, like you got to go offensive lineman, running back, offensive lineman, the first 3 rounds for this team.
And then what do you do about the defense too? Because that's
There are teams who, like the Chiefs a couple years ago when they had that horrible defense, they still kept up with teams with their offense. And I know defense wins championships, but they won with that offense. So you never know. You never know. I mean, as long as you got Derwin, Gilman, Tooley, and these other guys, they can get a few important stops.
yeah.
Um, we don't know what's going to happen with Mac. I think Bosa's out, but we don't know what's going to happen with Mac. I don't know about Eric Kendricks. I don't think he'll stay, but you never know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think you got to focus offensively because defensively we'll get guys. Um, and it's more of a offensive heavy draft this year, I think, than years prior. So I wouldn't mind them drafting a defensive player like in the third round, but I think offensive line and running back are our priorities first and second round, and then just draft whoever because those are the 2 holes on the offense that you have to fill, and then after that we'll be okay offensively. But defensively, I don't know if there's any saving or if you need a new coach, right? It could just be a new coach, and that's what this team is missing. But
Could be probably another corner as well. So I mean,
yeah,
because we
yeah, but I think you need a lockdown corner.
yeah.
You can't have rookie corner because like the Chicago Bears, they have that rookie corner. I forgot his name, Stevenson, I think. He's constantly being picked on and he's constantly getting flagged. So if you're going to draft a rookie corner, okay, but you got to also take a lockdown corner as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
So
but it all comes down to coaching.
yeah,
Yeah. And who will be that next guy? Harbaugh, Belichick, someone we're not even mentioning, or are we going to give Kellen Moore a chance?
I think any of them over this guy. Give Kellen Moore a shot, but at the same time, he's doing fine as an offensive coordinator. Harbaugh, I really like, but this cheating scandal, I don't know what's going to happen. And Belichick, hey, he coached Brady for all these years. I think he'll be an okay addition. Um,
But
you know,
you can't forget Belichick's own cheating scandals, multiple,
right, right,
uh, and and the fact that Patriots haven't been very good since Brady left. I mean,
yeah.
that's
I think
that's
it's more to do with Mac Jones just being horrible than Belichick, to be honest. Like it's like Zach Wilson kind of. Like they're both really bad, and it's not the coach's fault. It's just they they're horrible. Um, so that's why I have some hope. We win Sunday and we beat the Patriots, and then we're 6-6. But yeah, I think it's a quarterback kind of. If Belichick had a better quarterback, I think it will be a different story. And they're going to draft whoever right now. um, because they're what I don't know their record, but they're pretty low. I think they're 2-9.
something like
Um, but they're going to have a high draft pick, so they're going to draft a stud quarterback, and then we'll see if then Belichick still fails. Then yes, Belichick. It was Brady who carried Belichick. It wasn't a dynamic duo type thing. But yeah, I don't know if it's Belichick dragging them down or if it's just a horrible um, quarterback.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but that defense isn't what it used to be either. You know,
Yeah,
you used to fear the Patriots defense every
yeah.
year, and
But they gave up a lot of guys. A lot of those guys were traded or left, and a lot of veterans left. So it's like a newer kind of uh, younger defense now than before.
yeah,
So yeah, I agree. It's just there's also a lot of inexperience on that team. So I mean, I don't understand the logic behind getting Ezekiel Elliott because you're just basically wasting another year of his. But hey, it is what it is.
yeah. The bright side for the Chargers is we have Justin Herbert, and we have him for however many more years on that
Yeah,
contract. But you don't want to waste his career like Rivers. Such a winner. Keenan too. It, especially Keenan because he's near the end of his career, still playing
yeah,
at such a high level.
yeah,
It's it's hard to see. It's
yeah,
hard to watch. I don't know if you saw that picture of Herbert and Keenan. Kind of holding hands after that loss to the Lions. Like they just look so sad, man. Like
I didn't, but
they gave it their all, and they're just like, what else can we do?
mhm,
And that's how you got to feel for him right now. Two guys playing at extremely high levels, and the rest of the team just not coming through for him,
yeah,
like Rivers. And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's what I don't want. I don't want Herbert to be ringless like Rivers was, um, because that kind of dictates whether you make the Hall of Fame or not. Like Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Famer because of his championships. Um,
it's easy to say as Chargers fans, but I think Rivers should be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. I mean, without question, in my opinion, he should be.
Yeah, I mean the numbers he put up, you know he was around top five in a lot of all time categories for quarterbacks,
Yeah,
and just playing on a torn ACL in the AFC Championship. Coming within
yeah,
a Marlon McCree fumble of beating the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, yeah,
yeah. I mean, there were a couple of times where that team could have made it to the Super Bowl. One of them being Sean Merriman, and that defense with Gates and Tomlinson and Rivers, that would have been special. Um,
yeah,
but
and you had missed kicks, fumbles, just really
yeah,
bad luck. That seems to have carried on.
yeah,
uh, and the only constant is Spanos. So,
yeah. I
yeah,
think it's long past time for him to sell the team. And it was funny. There was a statistic that we were at 500 even, like Chargers as a franchise. They've won as many games as they've lost. Of course, this was before the Packers game, so if we win against the Ravens, we're back to that. So it's like, yes, this is the story of the Chargers. We're mediocre. We're not good enough to make the Super Bowl, and we're not bad enough to tank. It's always the case with this team.
yeah, and a big reason for that has got to be Spanos not paying for a top coach. He
Yeah,
likes to go cheap with that, save some money, but I've seen other people say you get what you pay for with
yeah.
coaches. So yeah, you know, this has been in the national media talk. I'm sure he's heard it. They're becoming a laughing stock at this
He's
point.
heard it, but does it care?
Yeah,
You know?
does he care about being a laughing stock?
Yeah,
Does he care about wasting Herbert and Keenan Allen's career?
yeah.
You would
I
think
would
so.
I would hope he does, but
Yeah,
then again, with that all that money coming in, does he? You know?
yeah. You would think so. You would think so. I mean, uh, yeah. why be in football if
Exactly.
there's so
It
many
just
other businesses.
it doesn't seem like he cares though, you know? And if you win the Super Bowl, your value of the team goes up too. So you would think he does, but who knows?
Yeah, and we're spending all that money. What, we're the second highest paid defense in the league right now, and
Yeah.
we're we're the laughing stock defense right now.
And what scares me is he sees that, we spend so much on the defense and it's not coming to fruition and goes, okay, we're not going to spend big anymore. That's what I fear. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but
Yeah, I mean, he's got to know it's coaching at this point.
I hope he does. I hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
I mean, he hasn't been afraid to fire coaches in the past, so
yeah, including who was that? Uh, Marty, was it Marty Schottenheimer who went 14-2?
yeah,
Yeah, with the Chargers and got fired.
yeah.
Uh,
Honestly, like he was one of the best, probably the best coach, but like my favorite coach was North Turner. I think he was a very good coach, and I
yeah,
miss that guy. I wish we had a coach like him for this team.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, anyway, bottom line is we got to win Sunday. If we don't, then the season's a wash. But hopefully they step up and hopefully they win because if they do, the schedule's getting easier and you'll be 6-6 going into week 14. Hopefully that changes a lot. So
yeah. Big game, tough test, maybe the toughest test all season because of the high
yeah,
level that Ravens defense and offense both
yeah.
play.
This
So
kind of reminds me of last year, just on a final point of last year when we were playing Sunday Night Football against the Dolphins.
yeah,
Um, teams, player, I'm sorry, the media had counted us out,
yeah,
and we came out there and we won, and that kind of turned the season around. Is it going to happen again without Mike Williams? I don't know, but there's a possibility. Um,
yeah,
and Joshua Palmer's returning soon, so you never know.
yeah, and hopefully we get Guinan back too. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, you always got a shot with Herbert and Keenan Allen
yep,
out there. So bolts up. We'll be here next week and go Chargers.
yeah. Hopefully we win.
All right. See
See
you
you
later.
guys.